it's pretty natural for a man to also have like, oh, maybe I shouldn't because then then I won't be able to bang everyone.
I mean, basically, yeah. Sometimes I still feel that I shouldn't be with her.
Why?
That's. I'm just trying to understand. Like, is it what it could be due to?
Sometimes you need to work this stuff out in the mess of relationships, and sometimes you need to extricate yourself from it to be able to do it alone. But if it's like a kind of a vague, I'm not sure if I should be with this girl, but she's awesome and you want to be with her, then I would just be with her and then deal with that mess as it comes up. Like, we don't need to be perfect human beings before we have a relationship. Right? Yes, we don't want to just go from one to the next without ever considering what happened. But you are going to enter as partially wounded or having a past or having your insecurities. The girl will, you will. That is going to be part of it. And the relationship then can become a theatre space for you to work through things together. And you may be able to, or you may find that you trigger each other in ways that make it worse. But it's worth trying. I think it's always worth, like if you find someone that you find really amazing in a whole bunch of metrics and you're drawn to her, it's pretty natural for a man to also have like, oh, maybe I shouldn't because then I won't be able to bang everyone or something, right? It's like I've never gone into a relationship 100% going, yes, I absolutely should, but it's been compelling to me, and then there's the other parts of it, my insecurities or wondering if I should do something different with my life. Well, you'll figure that out, and then within a year or something, you're like, no, I'm happy to be in this space, or yeah, I am drawn somewhere else, so I'll let it go. It's okay to start these things. Just don't make lifelong promises.
Do you trust her?
Yeah.
So I agree with James. I feel relationship is the place where we can do self-work. And if it's someone that you trust, then you being vulnerable by saying, wow, you're amazing and I love being with you and I feel insecure or I feel I have this, whatever, be honest with her and say, I'm going through this.
Yeah, I've opened up already because I told her, like, I think we shouldn't be together. And then I said, wait, I don't understand why I'm telling you that, because like I don't find any valid reason for justify any reason to break up. So
great. So that's your point of investigation. Like you can start conversations with her like, I'm afraid of, and see where that goes. Because all of us have wounds. We have wounds from our childhood. We have wounds from long histories. And in a relationship, you can create a safe space for our mutual healing. But it's going to involve being vulnerable. And vulnerability is the basis of trust in relationship. The more you can communicate, the more vulnerable, the more trust, the bigger the container of the relationship. So it sounds to me like you're in an excellent position to do some self-work with someone who can hold space for you.
Close your eyes for a second. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Put your attention onto your heart. Maybe put your hand on your heart. Think about this girl just for one moment, and how you feel about her, and how much fun it is with her, and how cute she is, and all that. Now I'm going to ask your heart a question. Do you want to be with this girl? Okay, worth a shot. Because usually it's head stuff, right? It's usually our brain. I'm not sure. Maybe there's a better girl. Maybe if I'm with her, I'm not going to meet a better girl. You see what I mean? So that's why if you take it to the heart just goes yes or actually no, many times. So and that's an exercise for any fucking life decision. Oh, this job, it pays a lot, but I'm not. It's pretty good, but I'm not sure. The mind's going to come up with all kinds of bullshit. Do a meditation, get in your heart space, and then really feel. Then you'll get your real answer, usually. So thanks.
A bit of practical advice. That was very practical, but another bit of practical advice. There's a book called Too Good to Leave, Too Bad to Stay by Mira Kirschenbaum. It's a pretty cheap book. You can also get the audio. Quick read. It diagnoses your relationship with these about 35 questions. And if you fail on one of the questions, the whole relationship is done. And it gives you the context, and this is based off decades of this woman's clinical experience and things like that. So I would say read that book. It's one of the most powerful books I've ever read. It's the book that I buy the most often for people. I've seen it save marriages and cause divorces. I've seen it get people over breakups super quick and make people who are considering breaking up stay together and then have this awesome relationship. So if you're the type of person that likes to do their research, read that book, and that'll give definitely. I honestly, I recommend that book to everybody who wants to be in a relationship. Read it now. If you're in a relationship, if you're not in a relationship, get that book and read it. And it's like it's like a flu shot against bad relationships. It tells you what a bad relationship is, gives you the vocabulary to talk about it, and then you can recognize it in other people and avoid it. So start with that. The other thing is, one of my biggest issues over the course of my life has been learning to trust my gut instincts more and more. And when I was younger, I would meet a person, I would get a gut instinct about them, and it would be negative. And I would think to myself, sometimes I would say out loud, yeah, I just don't feel right about it. I don't like that person, right? And people would accuse me of arrogance. They'd be like, you're judgy and arrogant, like if you're gonna act like that. Turns out, like 95% of the time, I was right. My first impression was right. My gut was right. So my gut wants to tell you that no, you shouldn't be with her. Because if you're sitting up here asking this question, then that might already be your answer. But before you conclude that, read that other book, because you might just have certain fears. And before I got with Lily, I had a lot of fear, and I like to do, some people call it journaling, I call it monologuing, because I'm usually talking to myself. But writing it out or typing it is powerful. But I wrote in notebooks like, oh, there's this, there's the age difference, I could hurt her, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So sit down, if you haven't already, and start writing. And then the last thing I want to say is this, and this kind of echoes what everybody else was saying. When you're on the fence about something, you need to commit to a course of action. The one that you might want to, the logical one to take is commit, be her boyfriend, and go for it. Because in less than 3 months, probably much sooner than that, you will realize if you're in the right place. Whereas if you say, I don't want to be your boyfriend, and then you find out that was a bad idea, you probably lost her forever by then. So hope that helps.
Thanks.